Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Hashem Kakodah Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of your elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to entitle this video One of Ours, All of Yours. This is put up by GMS Mawatazak Bun Guide 2, and his title is To Give It Into the Hand of the Slayer, One of Ours, All of Yours. So you see this written up here. I just watched the first, I don't know, about up to here. So it's maybe about up to here. And I actually looked it up. I went to the chat. Didn't really tell me anything, but I went to the Google, and it gave me more insight. So I'm gonna just let this play. Then I'm gonna go to the Google. And this is not forget about the Constitution. No Constitution. There's no. They'll use the word It ain't dealing with these things that they're doing now with this so-called administration. Is definitely not Constitution. They're not dealing. They're not afraid of violating the Constitution, because the Constitution is a goddamn piece of paper, as Baby Bush said. So let me bring it back here to the very beginning.
All right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always,
by the way, the ICE is now going from door to door. They're ringing doorbells and knocking on doors, and they're asking you, are you an American citizen? So, that's going against the Constitution. You just can't, as a law enforcement guy can't say, are you this, are you that, where you going? They can't stop you and ask you where you're going. That's not Constitution. You have a right. You have, like in the Fifth Amendment and the Fourth Amendment, you have a right not to be a witness against yourself. You have a right in your personal papers, your effects. That's the Fourth Amendment. So you have all these rights. So when they say, they assume you might be one of the Latin tribes, that's illegal, but you could be a citizen. They're gonna ask you, and it's not you don't have to answer, because if they ask you a question, you can give a yes or no answer, or I don't want to answer at all. Or if they arrest you, then you have the right to remain silent. They got to tell you that, Miranda laws. So guess what? Constitution is not even here no more. So we're in let's say, a Nazi fascist state, a feudal system. We're going back to a feudal system. So let me just go ahead and let it play.
Give all praise unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four winds of the earth that believe wholeheartedly in the true doctrine that is being pushed throughout the four winds of the earth, who are in hope of mercy and salvation during the time of Jacob's trouble, as well as when Yahweh Shai returns to the planet Earth. All right, to you and to you only, I say shalom, and may Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai continue to rain down grace and mercy upon you and your household. All right, this should be pretty quick. I came across this term about 5 days ago. The DHS, Secretary of the DHS, which is, she goes by the name of Kristi Noem. She did a press conference a little bit after the incident that happened in Minneapolis. And, she basically was co-signing the ICE agent. And on the podium that she came up to speak was this slogan, or this phrase. The phrase, one of ours, all of yours, is a fascist slogan that implies collective punishment or an extreme form of retribution and division, right? So the slogan was one of ours, all of yours. This is what she came out. That's what the podium said. As a matter of fact, let me get it here on YouTube. This is the actual press conference, right? And there it is. One of ours, all of yours. All right. And you got these simple ass, look like some mixed Negro and Latina chick in the back. Don't understand and know what the hell they involved in. So, of course, like I said, I did the Google. I Googled it. And that's what came up, right? And it says, the meaning is generally interpreted as a threat. If you harm one of our people, we will retaliate against all of your people. It is used to express the idea that one member of an in-group is worth far more than an entire out-group. In this case, the federal GOP, right, and the U.S. people, the people of the U.S. Okay. Key aspects of the phrase. Now notice it didn't mention a prominent time in history, but I'm going to go there, all right, and show you. Okay. It says the slogan is widely attributed to the Falange Española, the Spanish fascist movement founded in the early 1930s and was used during the Spanish Civil War. The original Spanish...
Right. You kill one of us, we'll kill 1,000 of y'all. That's what that means. Let me bring this back. I just want to hear something else. Hear something again.
Okay. It says the slogan is widely attributed to the Falange Española, the Spanish fascist movement founded in the early 1930s and was used during the Spanish Civil War. The original Spanish translates to one of ours is worth many of yours. All right?
You kill one of us, we're going to kill 100 yours. You kill one of us, we're going to kill 1,000 of yours. That's why they charged the woman that got took out by the ICE agent. They pretty much said she was a terrorist. They call it a terrorist, a domestic. What's the term? Domestic terrorist. And she was attempting to run the man over. And he shot and he said, "Oh, I'm justified." So, and that shows you it goes beyond race now, because she was an Edomite woman. It was an Edomite woman. If it had been a so-called black woman, it would have been a race issue. But it's an Edomite woman, so you can't make it a race issue. So now that it goes beyond, it transcends a race. It's a class thing. We're in the fulfillment of all these end-time scriptures. We're in the fulfillment. We're living in the time, the beginning, times of Jacob's trouble. 2nd Ezra's 15, 16, and ultimately 13. So we're Isaiah chapter 19, which I may even go into. Now you wondering who the cruel Lord is? Well, this man, you can't get anybody any crueler than what this man's doing.
So what I did, I said, when in history, which is this, I typed in when in history was this term used, right? And it mentioned the Española, and then bam, this is the one right here. You hear them Edomites be saying them as Nazis, all that. Well, this is one of the terms that the Nazis used. All right, I'm going to read this little excerpt, and I'm going to get a couple of scriptures. Because like we've been saying, and Hey, yeah, we sound like a broken record. If you don't like it, go watch Captain Tazariak or ISUPK, Philly, or IUIC. Go watch the Gorilla Hebrew if you want to be entertained with some shit that don't matter with the times that we're living in. All right, but if you want to be up on game and preparing your spirit for the things that's getting ready to transpire out here, you have to come to the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Hawashai, which are the men of Great Millstone, beginning with the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone.
And let me say this, he mentioned ISUPK, IUIC. They say a lot of good things. But they don't give you the 100% truth. It's like you go buy a dozen of eggs, you get home, there's 8 eggs instead of a dozen, you're going to go back and complain. Or there could be 1 egg missing, you're going to go back and complain, there's an egg missing. Just to use that as an example. They don't have the 100% truth. So if you do happen to watch them videos, you filter whatever they say through us. You come to us and say, is this true? Because you got people that actually believe, thousands of people that believe that the MOTB is sin in all of its forms, is sleeping with white women, and it's an embargo. The embargo doesn't make any sense. How can a mark be an embargo? It doesn't make any sense at all. Now you got Nate saying it's sin in all of its forms, but you can sin now, and he said this. I'm saying in a different way, but he pretty much said this. He said, see, you can get away with sin, but the day that the white man says you have to sin, that's when you got to stop sinning. Because if you don't sin anymore, you can't buy or sell. So he brings a lot of confusion. All these guys got to do is look up the word mark, Revelation 13. Here we go again. Because that's the next big thing that's coming. And all you stupid idiots out there, it's going to be like new news. I never heard about this mark of Michael. What is it? Because y'all don't pay attention. You all out there, you have a short attention span. And you want to be, most of you out there, you watch a video, let's say Bishop Nathaniel, right? Bishop Nate. I remember he used to have like 40-something thousand people view. His views have gone down. We were listening to it the weekend. It was 8. I don't know how much it went up, but it went up to well into 2-3 hours of the video, the live. It was only like 8,000 people watching. Then these other guys be speaking, and it might be 3,000 and something. Now I'm gonna say this: of the 8,000 plus that are watching, I don't even think 1,000 is, maybe 1,000 is really serious about this thing. A lot of y'all a lot of you out there come on these pages for entertainment purposes. So when this still goes down, you're gonna be all shocked because this is just entertainment to y'all.
Whether you like it or not, all right? Because you're gonna get fed here, okay? So I'm gonna read this. It says, Nazi Germany policy. While the exact phrase may not be verbatim, Nazi motto, the sentiment and the policy of collective punishment it describes are definitively rooted in the actions of the Third Reich during the World War II. The Nazis' independent brutal policy is occupied territories where, for example, 50 to 100 civilians might be executed in retaliation for the killing of one German soldier or officer by resistance fighters.
That's what's happening right now. Bring it back.
The brutal policy.
That's what's happening right now. One life of an ICE agent might be worth 1,000 of your lives. That means they're gonna open it as soon as one of them get, popped. Pew pew. Everybody's saying that. They're gonna come down. They're gonna come down hard. They're gonna come down. They're gonna kick the doors in. 2nd Ezra's chapter 16. If you affect one of them, they're gonna come after thousands of y'all. Hey, this is what happened with the movie The Hunger Games, where people try to revolt against the elite, the 1% as they call it, and they failed. So as a punishment, they had to take, what was it, 12? What is it called? 12 sectors, I believe it was called. I was watching it about a month ago. Watched the whole thing, the original one, not all the other shit, the prequels and the sequels, and this killed and that killed. But the original one, to me, is the best. I haven't watched the others, so I can't judge on that. But that can actually happen, man. They got punished. They said, okay, we're gonna punish you, but you're gonna take you out of each, what is it, sector, or what did somebody help me out, sector or region or whatever. They had a lottery where they would take, I think it was a boy and a girl, and they were young, they were kids, a little bit older, 12, 13, 14 years old, maybe 9 years old. They were picked in the lotto, and they would have to kill each other until you had the last one, and the last one they would kind of make them, one of the 1%. So it was actually a reality show, and that could happen with the cruel Lord. If you can't see that this guy is a cruel Lord, let's say he's not the cruel Lord. Well, if somebody comes behind him, he gonna be way worse, 10 times way worse than this guy, because he wasn't like this in his first term. So he came with a whole different spirit in his second term.
During the World War II, the Nazis' independent brutal policy is occupied territories where, for example, 50 to 100 civilians might be executed in retaliation for the killing of one German soldier or officer by resistance fighters. Okay? And this is the whole spirit that's in the air out there. Somebody gonna knock off and knock down one of them ICE agents, whether it be a real resistance, or if they can't, we know how the devil operates. If they can't get somebody to knock one down, they gonna knock one down and say it was a U.S. citizen, therefore, which will allow them to bring in more brutal force. And we've been saying
this. What you were talking about is the PSYOP. Look that up.
All right. I just so happened to come across this term, and then, I seen it on the podium, and it reminded me of when Trump, when he called in to the WEF, and he had the eagle with his head facing towards the arrows in his claw, and he's doing exactly what the subliminal message was to the WEF. We here to bring war, and we gonna make our place known in this new world order. We won't be second to none of you. That's basically what Nero 47 was saying when he buzzed into the WEF with that statement, with the seal of the U.S. with the eagle's claw facing towards the arrows and not towards the olive branch, because it ain't a time of peace. We in a time of war. And then here we are, 2026, the beginning of 2026. They letting you know right here with this phrase, you heard one of ours, we coming after all of yours. All right? And so we here, man. I mean, all the writings on the wall. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is giving us all the signs. First scripture I'm going to get is in the book of Ezekiel, which we bring up quite often. All right? Because the sword is sharpened, and the sword is letting you know. One of ours is going to equal all of yours. Okay? I'm gonna go straight to the point because I think this dude done load me up. Yeah, this is it. Son of man, Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9. Says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord. Say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. All right. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. All right. And he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. All right. And that's Esau. All right. They letting you know, you come with the bullshit, one of theirs get hurt. Let me get this paperwork real quick. Bear with me a second.
Rehook your door in the back. It came unhooked.
Oh, okay. Right, so the phrase said, you one of ours, all of yours. That's letting you know that the sword is sharpened, is ready to get cracking and begin that slaying. All right, we to that point.
Yeah, you got right here. I was watching this video about 20 minutes ago, and these Alabama MAGA voters furious. Trump cuts Medicaid and food stamps as the poor are hit hard. So he pulled a fast one on them, and that's what you call buyer's remorse. They brought the wrong, they purchased the wrong product. They're not happy with it. They want to return. You ain't getting no return. Oh, there's no returns. So y'all waking up. The whole country's waking up to this guy. What he's doing is against the Constitution. What they do is they make laws that go around another law. Insurrection Act is to go around the martial law. They don't call it. No, it's not martial law. It's Insurrection Act. It's the same fucking thing. When you got the troops coming in with guns among civilians, you know that violates the Posse Comitatus Act. But then there's always a loophole. There was who did the video, and I took the video, and I put it up. I did my own thing on the video with Jesse Ventura, which I believe he might be a Jake. I believe he's Croatian, which a lot of them is Jake. So I believe he could be. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Jake. But he was in Navy's Hill, and he went to other countries. We got men in GMS that are military men that have been around the world. They can tell you about certain things. Okay? Anyway, he said when you see military men in the streets among civilians, he said that's how you know it's a third world country. He said, because I've been in third world countries, and this America looks like beginning to look like a third world country. Not as far as infrastructure and money, but the system is like a third world system. And things at prices, people are experiencing inflation. They're really gonna flip when they have to experience hyperinflation. Just put in the word hyperinflation in Zimbabwe. I'll probably do a video on that. I'll go through it. I'll watch it. Some videos. Hyperinflation. During the Weimar Republic. Hyperinflation.
I got one more scripture here, and that's in the Apocrypha, all right? Which is 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter I'm going to get.
There we go.
Get up out this dude way real quick. Bear with me a hot second. Alright.
Real quick, this is almost over. This is a short video. Short and to the point. So like I said, I went over to the chat. I didn't like what they gave me. I went to Google, and this is what I see. It says SS, which is Schutzstaffel, which is German. And SS, I believe, Schutzstaffel is fatherland, I believe. That translates into. It said one of ours, all of yours is a line from Nazi Germany. I'm not going to open up. I may come back and open it up. My eagle-eyed friend and follow history buff. I'm sorry. This is January 10th. My eagle-eyed friend. I got to open that up. Let me just read some more. Reddit is the phrase one of ours, all of yours, an old Nazi slogan. The phrase one of ours. So this is a Nazi National Socialist, which this is a socialist country anyway. All of yours was visible as Noam addresses, which is she's the head of the Homeland Security. Reporters, furthermore, it notes that historians have not publicly, let me just, should I open this up? Let me do this. Let me open this up. Okay, this is, I don't have an account. Neither do I want an account. I guess you have no. Okay, here we go. See? One of ours, all of yours. Okay, my eagle-eyed friend and fellow history buffs, Aiden Slepper, caught this. To quote Adam, one of ours, all of yours, was a fascist rallying cry during the Spanish Civil War. It means one of our people is worth all of your people. So it's a us against them mentality. This is the world that you're living in. This is almost like a foreign force. Constitution said you're supposed to protect the Constitution from foreign and domestic enemies. Yes, I have been posting. There's up and down my FB friends. Facebook was Facebook friends. I don't know. Oh my soul. Why hasn't anyone asked her to explain? Because you got a bunch of dummies that don't know history. No, you got us all wrong. Just wait till our designer suits get here with matching armbands. Then it'll make sense. This is the Nazi Germany and fascism all over again. The scary thing to someone like me, who has studied World War II in detail, is their ignorance. None of them have any idea what the Nazis were really like. Now, back when I was a youngster, they had a lot of movies on the Nazis and how they would stop a car and they would say, let me see your papers. They don't show them movies because they would say, wait a minute, Nazis supposed to be so bad. This is the same shit that's happening in America. Because people don't study history. People that don't, what's the term? People that don't study history or will be doomed to repeat it. I said this, they just see the fun, yelling, and uniforms and bullying. The fact that, right, you had this the Schutzstaffel, you had the secret police. This is Schultz. There's a term for the secret police. The Gestapo, and I believe that means literally, translated from German to English, it means secret police. Gestapo. And then Geist or ghost means spirit, secret. Fact that they can literally get away with murder, they don't even realize that most of them would be sent to the gas chambers had the real Nazis regime been in place. I'm going to read no more. But anyway, let's bring it back. The phrase, one of ours, all of yours, is a controversial slogan associated with fascist ideology and collective punishment. You get one of us, we're going to kill 1,000 of y'all. You're all going to pay for it. It originated in the early 1930s as a rallying cry for the Falange Española, the Spanish fascist movement. So it's a us against them mentality. It's not a race thing no more. If the officer or whatever he was shot a black woman, it would have been a race thing. All hell would have broke loose. But they made sure, because they're saying it's a psyop. Happened on the 33rd block, and it was in front of a building that had 333. He had 33 stitches and so many threes coming up. Psyops. Let me go ahead and look at this. Kristi Noem, one of ours, all of yours. Controversy explained. Let me go. I'm not going to read all of this. I just want the point. Kristi Noem, one of ours, all of yours. Controversy explained. Podium photo with Nazi quotes goes viral. And this was as of yesterday. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem faces backlash over a podium emblazoned with one of ours, all of yours, hours after Renee Good's death. A phrase tied to Nazi collective punishment. You kill one of us, we're going to go after all of you. You kill one of us, we're going to kill 1,000 of you. You kill one of us, we're going to kill 1,000,000 of you. Like the 1942 Leddy's massacre. Let me look into this. Okay, let me go over here. Okay, right here. So they done threw the Constitution out. You told them ice ages, well, the Constitution said, they go boom, bam, bing, boom, bang, pow, boom, bing. They don't have to tell you that they tore the Constitution up. It's out of there. And y'all don't know the Constitution anyway. A lot of you motherfuckers can't even spell Constitution. Let's see what this is all about. Ladies massacre, check whatever, was a complete destruction of the village of Ladies in the protectorate, Bohemian and whatever. I want to get the quick answer. Let's come over here. Come over here. And brutal reprisal or payback. Nazis annihilated Czech village of Ladisi. So they did something. They killed one of the Nazi guys, and they took the whole fucking village out. So that's what Kristi Noem was saying. Let me do this. Jordan point. Nazi troops obliterated the village of Ladisi, Czechoslovakia, after killing all adult males and deporting most of the surviving women and children to concentration camps. The brutal action came as part of a retaliation for the assassination of Nazi SS leader Reinhard Heydrich, known as Heydrich the Hangman. These Nazis were terrible, man. And this is the spirit coming back. Despite there being no solid evidence connecting to the town, to the assassination plot. Basically, they said this one guy got killed. We're gonna wipe out the whole village. We're gonna kill all the men, and we're gonna put the women and the children in concentration camps. They don't talk about that, and these wasn't small hats either. So that same spirit, that same old spirit coming back. Let's come back over here. You got these boneheaded Christians, Jesus and the Heavenly Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, they are one being. So when Jesus was down here, what was the Father? He was in the Son. And the Holy Spirit was in, they were all together. So who was manning heaven at that time? Michael. Well, isn't Michael part of the Holy Spirit? Well, no, he might be, but I don't know. These idiots are trying to tell us that we're not the Israelites and that we got to be Christians while this motherfucker's going down. Like I said, these clowns do not go into, they don't go into the prophecies of the scriptures because they don't know the prophecies. They're clueless. Vocab's clueless when it comes to the prophecies. God Logic is clueless. All them Sam Shimon they'll never argue prophecy because they don't know prophecy. And they made it, and this guy Drewski did a thing mocking him, and he went, and it wasn't funny to me. I said, that's what they do. How is it funny? That's what them motherfuckers do. So it ain't funny. It's funny because he's making mockery of it, but it's true. Let's listen to some more.
All right, let's get that in the pocket for real quick. Like I said, this is going to be quick.
And in case they didn't go up there and tell you, we are in Jeremiah 30:7. We're experiencing Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. Matter of fact, read the whole chapter. It's a short chapter. And I said I was going to go, I was probably play it, Isaiah 19.
Nothing, I just, came across that phrase, and, them Edomites on Edomite TikTok, they be bringing out all that info, all right, but they can't marry nothing to the scriptures, all right? And that's where the prophets
That's our job. Thank you.
come in. Okay? So bear with me a second. Let me get out this dude way, man. He waiting to get this door. All right, let me pull that up in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Okay, because this is what's getting ready to happen, man. We're getting ready to see great death out here. And it's all the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? That's what it is. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 18. Well, I'm going to start at 17. All right? Because remember, Ezra saw everything we getting ready to go through. And his first initial reaction was, woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right. So these things are coming. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all a matter about when. All right. And like I said the other day, was it yesterday? One of my recent videos I mentioned, I believe, come after the Passover, that's when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to let the floodgates pour out, judgment, all hell, chaos, anarchy, and just like we just read here, all right, great death, famine, sorrows, all right, evils, okay? We here in that time, man. Make no mistake about it. So with that, man, giving all praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we on to the next one. Shalom.
Okay, what's this all about? Okay, in Greenland invasion protests take over live. Let me see what this is all about. And then I'm going to go in Isaiah 19.
Are you using your home address for business but know it's hurting your brand image? At iPostal One, we can help. Growing your business is tricky, we know.
Like takeoffs or anyone arrives, but it's pretty crazy here. And then there's also a feed outside of the White House, maybe some sort of press conference coming up here shortly on the matter, or maybe the White House press secretary. This is a big topic today. I mean, the fact that you got Danish officials on U.S. soil now talking on this is a big deal. Vance Rubio to meet with Danish officials as Trump eyes Greenland. And then here's another report, too. There's nothing we can't do in Greenland, says retired general. Let me get up this report by PBS. How?
And see, these people don't understand the scriptures. Paula White, evangelist Paula White, she doesn't understand the scriptures. She doesn't understand that this is going to lead. Greenland is a part of, under the jurisdiction of Denmark, right? In the last couple of days, France said we're going to back Denmark up, or back up Greenland. Germany came into the mix. So if these, like a Paula White, if she understood prophetic scripture, she would know that that's the represents the NATO and the EU, and she would know about Article 5 of that treaty, of the NATO treaty, and she would know that if one NATO nation attacks another NATO nation, or any nation attacks another NATO nation, that it's like they attacked all of them. So what about a NATO nation that attacks another nation member of the NATO? then guess what? It only makes sense that they would have to come together to fight against that one NATO nation that's attacking the other. Because like I said, France is backing them up, Denmark up. You got Denmark backing up Greenland, France and Germany, and you may have others. Because this is unheard of. This is an alliance. He didn't understand. And like I said, if these evangelicals knew prophecy, they would know that America is Babylon the Great. And they would know about Ezekiel chapter 38. They would understand it fully. And they would, like I said, I'm saying it, I'm sounding like a broken record. They would know exactly. If I said, look, NATO and EU, where are they mentioned in the scriptures? They wouldn't know where to start. They say it's not mentioned in the scriptures. If I say America, which is 250 years old as of 2026, July 4th, 2026, so wait, it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 6 months, it'll be 250 years old. But it's not in the script. No, it's not in the scriptures. Russia's in the scriptures. Okay, so according to Ezekiel 38, is Magog going to attack Israel? That's what it says. They may see it, they may not see it. Okay, who's the number one ally to Israel? America. So guess what? America gets involved. That's World War. No matter which way you slice it, this is World War III.
How Denmark views Trump's threats for Greenland. We'll put this up here, and we will listen in. We're going to give you all the reports too. But I think it's important to try to see what everyone's saying. The media is saying. So I'm going to get this up here. Here we go. Crucial talks going underway. Now, this report was yesterday. Today is today. It's happening today. Happening right now.
Crucial talks are due to take place in Washington tomorrow between Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland, the strategically important Danish region that President Trump has coveted for years. His repeated threats to take over...
He's a Christian that covered, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's stuff. So what kind of Christian is he? Where's Paula White, the evangelist, telling him, look, this is covetousness. You can't do this. You're going to Venezuela. This is covetousness. Isaiah 47. The dress is up. The skirt is lifted. Let me do this. I can't think of where the skirt is. I know Isaiah 47 is talking about letting the thighs show crossing a river. Women in the ancient world, they would bring their dresses up crossing a stream. Thy shame shall be shown. Skirt. Let me look up the word skirt. The word should be skirts. Let me put in the word skirts. Let me try the word skirts. Give me a second. If I can get the phrase in my head, I can't think of the phrase. Okay. Okay, this is here we go. Jeremiah 13, but I believe there's another one. Jeremiah 13:26. Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. That means, and a woman got a skirt on and the wind comes along and blows in the face, you see her privates. You see between the legs and all that. So that's America. It says, therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. Here it is again. Nahum 3 verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh. Now this is talking about Nineveh, which is a part of main city of Assyria, right? But it's referring to Esau now. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. And that's exactly what's going on. Let me read 13 and Jeremiah 13. Was it 13? 13 and 26. Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. It says England, Great Britain is going to be ashamed. Jeremiah is either 50 or 51. I went through it the other day. There we go, Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother, England, the UK, shall be sure confounded. Now, they might be one of the nations that join with France and Germany to back up Denmark. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations, which is America, shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert from the missiles. Now, among the NATO nations, NATO or EU nations, there's only two nations that possess, well, NATO. There's only two nations that possess long-range missiles among either the EU or NATO. And that's France and the UK. And I was surprised Germany wasn't on the list. Unless they start building missiles now. How long does it take to build a missile, a whole missile system? So if France is one of those nations that possess missiles, long range, and Great Britain, that means Great Britain is going to shoot the missiles on her daughter, right? Your mother shall be ashamed of you. Your mother shall be sure confounded, and she that bare you, England, shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost part of the nation, that's how you know it's talking about America, shall be a wilderness after the missiles hit, a dry land and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all of her plagues. Put yourself in array against the U.S. round about all, because the missiles are coming from different directions, right? Ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. I mean, this whole chapter, nothing but meat. So anyway, where was I? Okay. Let's go back over here. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Over the island have prompted warnings that such a move could lead to the breakup of NATO. Malcolm Brabant reports from Copenhagen.
Like I said before, the cruel Lord is isolating Babylon from the rest of the planet. Now, I guess this has to be Greenland, right? Now, you notice they have the woolly head because Jake was all of Europe. Jake was ruling Europe.
High noon in
NATO and the UN sucks. It's all ruled by the EU. Yeah, but NATO will shoot missiles on Babylon the Great.
Copenhagen, and the guard changes at the main royal palace as Danes worried that their kingdom is about to be shrunk by a Trumpian heist.
It's clear that these people wearing
President Trump
headpiece represents afros of young Jake men. This proves that Jake ruled all of Europe. That 1,000-year period, right?
has been stretching nerves here in Copenhagen this past week by ramping up his rhetoric. But the Danes haven't responded. They're hoping that quiet diplomacy will neutralize the threat to annex Greenland. Denmark is backed by NATO allies who believe in the sanctity of Greenlandic sovereignty. They fear the president has been emboldened by his Venezuelan operation and will pull the trigger.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about
this. Is a guy. This is a guy. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Hands will be feeble. Let me put in the word hands. I'm sorry. I put in the word hands so I can find the. There we go. The king of Babylon. The king. So these verses are talking about the missiles. It's gonna be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. Speaks about the bow and the lance. It says, the king of Babylon hath heard the report, and the report is that all these nations, European nations, Pakistan, India, Iran, Russia, China, they all have missiles focused on this place. So he's going to hear the report, and they're going to try to negotiate out of it, but they're not going to respond to the negotiations. Isaiah 13, it said, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, of the nations, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pains as of a woman in travail. So like I said, these American evangelicals, they don't understand the scriptures. They like I said, if you ask them, where's America mentioned in the Bible? They wouldn't know. They'll say it's not mentioned in the Bible. But how can you have a empire whose time span of 250 years, but somehow it's not mentioned in the Bible? Because they don't know. Or they don't want to know. Because if they really knew the prophecies and they were honest, because this is a death sentence, man. Let this man do what he's doing. But he's doing what he's doing. He's doing to do because the Most High put the Spirit on him to do that. And the Most High going to put the Spirit on these NATO and EU nations to do what they do. It tells you about how the Most High going to put jaws, hooks in the jaws. Hooks. Let me go ahead and look that up. It's either hooks or hook. Hooks. It's in Jeremiah. It should be 38. Okay, good. This will be easy to find. So I put in the word hooks instead of hook. There we go. There we go. Ezekiel 38:4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, modern day swords, missiles. So if they have there's a negotiation and the king of Russia, which hopefully is Putin still, He's going to kind of make a deal, and the Most High is going to put the spirit on them and say, nope, you're going to do it. You're not going to do it that way. You're going to do it this way. My purpose is for this place to be destroyed. Isaiah chapter 14. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. Isaiah 19. Give me a second. Let me just click on it. Okay, let me just go ahead and let this play, and I'll stop it and say a few words and keep it going. So this Egypt is America.
Chapter 19. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt.
What did Isaiah see? Yahushua coming with the angels to take this place out.
Shall melt in the midst of it, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother.
You got the states that are suing the federal government. You got you got law enforcement, local government not working with ICE. You got them going back and forth to court, so they're fighting against each other. It's a class thing more than it's a race thing now. Like I said, if this guy would have shot a black woman, all hell would have broke loose throughout the whole country. But it would happen to be a so-called white woman. Like I said, I believe that's a psyop. So they can't say, well, he did it because he was racist. Well, no, he shot a white woman, so it's not racist. He did it because he just don't give a fuck. Like I said, if that's, because there was a doctor that said, I'm a doctor, let me see if she's still alive. And he said, no. Think psyop.
And every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits.
They're going into the spiritual realm. They're going into witchcraft, praying to Satan, and they're looking for answers. And then when they pray to Jesus, they're really praying to a demon, because Jesus is a demon. Jesus Christ is a demon.
And to the wizards, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord.
We know who the cruel lord is, unless there's somebody worse than him. Can you imagine if he's not the cruel lord, there's going to be another guy? Well, goddamn, he going to really raise hell. We strongly believe that if he stays alive to the end, he will be the guy whose hands will grow feeble, wax feeble.
And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and flags shall wither. The paper reeds by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. The fishers also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament, and they that spread nets.
That's any business that you get, your business is going to fail.
Upon the waters shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave network shall be confounded, and they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, all that make sluices and ponds for fish. Surely the princes of Zoan are fools, the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings? Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what...
That means they ain't going to have... any intelligence to get out of this thing.
The Lord of hosts hath purposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zoan are become fools, the princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch.
Yeah, they laying off people left and right, man. They laying off people, cutting food stamps, cutting Medicaid.
Or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Every one that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself. Because
that's Micah 5:7. Lying in the midst of sheep, who both goeth through, and none can deliver.
Of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear.
I gotta let that play again. Let me do this.
And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Every one that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself.
And land of Judah, or Judah, shall be a terror unto Egypt. Jacob's gonna start waking up.
Because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan.
Now what is that talking about? That proves that we speak Hebrew. And we're going to call on the name of the Most High in Hebrew. The name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai in the Hebrew. Let me let that play again.
As a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Every one that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan. And
so if we say, what is this talking about? Isaiah 19 is talking about America. Yes, it's talking about America. Okay, so what does it mean? 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. If this is talking, if Isaiah 19, it's not talking about ancient Egypt, which we talking about 5,000-6,000 years ago, then what is it talking about? It's a prophecy. Isaiah is a prophet, so everything's written in code. So if, let's say IUIC says that's talking about America, so what does it mean by 5 cities shall speak the language of Canaan and shall swear by the name of the Lord? What 5 cities in what place? Egypt. So what Egypt is it talking about? It's talking about America. So that means is this talking about now? Well, the first verse tells you that. It opens up with how the Lord's coming back. It's right here. Give me a second, let me move this over. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. Actually, Yahweh Shai is going to come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So Isaiah saw the Lord coming and destroying this place. Then he goes backwards. This is why the Lord is coming, because it's cruel Lord, and it's time for this place to be taken out. So that's talking about America. 5 cities in the land of Canaan shall speak. The land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. The language of Canaan, look it up. The language of Canaan is ancient Paleo-Hebrew. And we ain't speaking the Hebrew that Esau speaks.
Swear to the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. In that
This is going to be the city of destruction.
day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Saviour, and a great one, and he shall deliver them. And the Lord shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day, and shall do sacrifice and oblation. Yea,
The Egyptians are Israelites living in this spiritual Egypt.
they shall vow a vow unto the Lord and perform it, and the Lord shall...
What is the vow? To do his work, to tell other people that we're Israelites. That's why this is a major controversy. That's why you had Drewski do a skit on the Israelites. You got all kind of people coming against the Israelites. You got the Christians. No, you guys ain't the Israelites. So through us coming on YouTube and going out on the highways and the byways, it made us famous or infamous.
Smite Egypt, he shall smite and heal it, and they shall return even to the Lord, and he shall be entreated of them, and shall heal them. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians in that day.
Now you got this God logic and vocab, pull the scripture out, saying that means that there's going to be Egyptians and Assyrians that's going to believe. No, that's talking about Israelites in spiritual Egypt and spiritual Assyria. Like you got America, which could be called Egypt, but it's interchangeable. You know, Canada got a spiritual vibe to it. America got a spiritual vibe to it. Central South America got a spiritual vibe to it. And then you got to get all the tribes. So you got to have 12,000 of Gad, 12,000 of Reuben, 12,000 of Issachar.
Day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom the Lord of
Because the Most High going to bless us when all hell breaks loose.
hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hand.
Oh, hold on. Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hand. Who is it talking about? The Israelites in this Egypt and Assyria and Sodom. This is why we don't talk to Christians, because they don't understand the prophecies. They should just try to teach a little sermonettes and leave us the fuck alone.
And Israel mine inheritance.
Okay, so that's it on that. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say, let me just check the. Okay, this is the Greenland thing. See, they're not telling him his Christian advisors are not telling Paula White gave him a call. Look, we got to pull back because this, Greenland is a part of Denmark, and Denmark is a part of the EU, and I believe NATO as well. I believe Denmark is a NATO nation as well. We can look it up, and she should tell him that, this represents the beast system. She doesn't believe that. If you ask Paula White, the evangelist, is America mentioned in the Bible, she'll say no. Or what is this place called Babylon all about? And she'll come up with something, but she ain't gonna say it's America. No, it can't possibly be America to them, because America is a righteous place. You see the wickedness that goes on in this place. Okay, they're supposed to have a debate. That's going to be a bugged out debate. Sham Shimon debate versus Sham Shimon. Jesus, the Most High. The same stupid argument. So Jesus the Father. 1 p.m. Christians mad at Drewski, but was it true? Of course it's true. With the black church. Give you a song and dance and hit you for money. Okay, what's this all about? 300 plus stores are closing in 2026. What you should know to see what's going on before I close it. Give me a second, y'all. Just checking out what's going on. Okay, you got GMS, South Carolina 08. The prophetic walls are closing. Let's see what this is all about.
Listen carefully. The federal stormtrooper militia that is wreaking havoc on American streets are not assembled for collecting immigrants. Make no mistake, after the immigrants are rounded up, the federal government will not downsize the federal stormtrooper militia. They are only just beginning. They are actively hiring thousands more stormtroopers. When they are low on immigrants to target, they will begin placing American citizens on lists and rounding them up. Anyone who resists or objects to the New World Order will be disappeared. The real reason this is all happening is because the American economy has already collapsed. They are anticipating civil unrest. The US dollar crashed years ago. They have been artificially propping it up by printing money out of thin air. This is what has been done to every economy that has collapsed right before the collapse. Very soon.
Yeah, you're going to suffer. Everybody's talking about high, everything going up. That's called inflation. When everything goes up, from 1 hour to 1 hour, from one half an hour to the next half an hour, from one day to the next. That's called hyperinflation. Now I went over to my gold guy, my silver guy, and got some silver. This has got gold there. I got a couple of pieces of silver. And when I went over there, it was Friday. Today is, Wednesday? Everything moving so quick. Yeah, it's Wednesday, bro. Oh, damn. Let me see. Yeah, it's Wednesday. So I went there Friday afternoon. Say about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock. The silver was 79. And right now it's got to be, earlier it was 90 something. Let me go see if I put this up. Okay, here we go, right here. And this is in real time. I'll show you what I mean by real time. Okay, right now it's 88. Let me just refresh this. There it goes. That's in real time. There's 90. So somebody at the place said, it could 6 months to a year from now, it could go up to 100. I said, look, don't be surprised if it goes up to 100 inside of a month or two. Did that go up or go down? That's $90. When I got the silver, got a couple of pieces of silver, it was 79 and change. So it actually went up 11. Really, it's 91. So we're talking 12. It actually went up $12 inside of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days. That never happened in history, in the history of silver. Silver doesn't go up like that. And it hasn't been go down a little bit, then it'll go up. Before I would say, I predict that before February 1st, the silver will be 100 plus. Let's see if I'm right. Let's come back over here. Look at that. You're almost at 91. Give me a second. Let me do this. Let me come back over here. Where was I? No, I don't want this. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go.
Toilet paper will cost $1,000 US. They pumped the economy up with printed money to keep the illusion going while they make power moves in the background. They took that printed money and funneled it all into the military and the big bullshit bill so they could fund the stormtroopers and the colonization of South America. The reason they are colonizing South American oil is simple. They need tangible assets to maintain wealth and power after.
And that's true. and that's true. Now, if you know about the Venezuelan thing, the Venezuelan government had a deal going with China and I believe Russia as well for oil. So pretty much Babylon blocked it.
After the U.S. dollar eats
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let it flow.
shit. Their Middle Eastern backers in Qatar gave them the blueprint for transitioning America out of democracy and into an oligarchy dictatorship by owning and controlling the oil and energy supply. They explained the collapse of the U.S. dollar to the military generals after they turned the cameras off, and the military has shown it is loyal to the plan and is ready to take Venezuela and Greenland by force. The only chance for freedom and democracy to prevail is a populist uprising, and that must take place immediately. If they are able to establish their militia and or establish martial law, the common people will not stand a chance fighting with only pitchforks.
And America is going to be a bloodbath. A lot of civilians are going to die. The ones that stand a chance are the civilians that will form military. So it's, we've been saying it's a race war. No, it's a class war. The elite against the rest of the world. What does 2 Ezra 15 and 16 say? Read that a couple of times, slow.
And shovels. We are currently living through a critical moment in human social evolution.
And that's when Isaiah 4:1 kicks in as well.
The founders of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution knew that this day would come. They wrote in provisions protecting citizens' right to stand up against a tyrannical government. Tyranny and oppression shall not prevail upon American soil, but freedom and liberty will stand.
Good morning, citizens. Your overnight account balances have been updated. Time to start a productive day. Final notice, your account balance is below 500. You need 50 credits by the end of the day to avoid automatic eviction. If you have missed work due to illness, you must provide a doctor's note to reclaim your credits.
Fair use, fair use.
Any extra credits? Please.
Tensions are high today, with more people planning to join the Citizens Against Digital Control protest. Remember, the government knows who you are.
This is just what they're saying the future is going to be. Technocracy, meaning the tech world rules. Autocracy means self-rule. Techno totalitarianism is technocracy. It's, technical world, that's what the whole chip coming in. The icing on the cake is the chip. The cherry, when you get a sundae, chocolate sundae, you get the cherry. You say, oh, I didn't get the cherry. The cherry on the top of the sundae or the icing on top of the cake is the microchip. They want to chip everybody. Everything will run smooth for you. You'll be able to navigate through the system pretty good with a chip in you. The ones of you that don't take a chip, you're going to be cut out of the grid. So that's when faith truly kicks in. We're going to see who's real. That applies to me, the apostles, the bishops, the elders, and I see some of y'all falling out. That's why we pray. That's why we diligent, man. That the Most High give us the spirit to endure this. And some of us are going to be put to death for not taking a chip. So you got to get your mindset for death.
Are at all times. Resisting is not worth the consequences. All of their newest social credit systems are designed to keep you and your families safe and efficient.
Authorities seized a record balance of an individual's credits, citing excessive hoarding.
Traffic violation detected. 7 miles per hour over the limit. 75 credits have been automatically deducted.
You have to be fucking kidding me.
Hey, they showed you that in the movie the hell is the movie with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone? Demolition Man. They showed you that in the movie. When you curse, you got a ticket. You know, when you did certain things, the cops didn't know how to deal with this bad guy. They would say, "What do we do? Tell him to put his hands up." So you got to watch that. That movie came out in I believe it was 96, 97. So we're talking 90, let's round it off to 96, 2006, 2016. So we're talking about 30 years ago that movie came out. There was a scene in the movie where Wesley Snipes, he goes into a room and he says, "Illuminate," and the lights go on. Illuminate, what are they telling you? Illuminati.
Yep, you got the flu.
Your blood work shows a significant iron deficiency. I recommend incorporating more red meat into your diet.
Dr. Jones, your taxes were not filed and have been automatically deducted with late fees. Your medical license has been revoked.
Oh, hell nah. I filed an extension.
Watch this, you're gonna crack up.
Purchase denied. Monthly red meat allowance exceeded. Try mealworms instead.
Uproars of the people. For second Ezra's 9. Uproars of the people.
You guys please let me through?
Attention. Unauthorized political gathering detected. Participants' access to financial services has been suspended.
I'm surprised they didn't turn off her car.
Due to the speeding infraction, your car will be immobilized for 3 days.
Fuck you! Take your surveillance pole!
Hey, that's what they do with the YouTube. You violate the YouTube, they'll cut you for 90 days. You can't do videos. You'll be getting mad as hell. Hey, technocracy. The tech rules. Techno-totalitarianism, which is the same thing.
Policies and rot in hell!
You've earned 50 bonus credits for reporting your neighbor's hateful misconduct. This content exceeds your current social credit tier. May we suggest citizen responsibility. Sarah,
this is happening right now with the ICE. This is happening right now.
Open the door. You have been identified by the authorities. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist.
Great times we are living in, the time of prophecy. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the whole.
The only thing, I'm gonna close this, but I'm gonna let it play a little bit more because it's just short. The only thing they didn't show you in this video, or the Moabite looking chick, is that the chip. They didn't show the chip. You know, she went to get the steak and she went to pay for it. They didn't put down a chip where you put the lady would say, put your hand under there or swipe with your hand or your forehead, because that's what's going to happen. But like I said, it's a social credit system that's going on in China right now. There's people that wake up one morning, they got I'll say demerits for social activity, and they said you're now evicted out of your house. You got to sleep on the street. You can't eat nothing. They're doing it in China. The model is happening in certain places in China. I don't know about all China. And then it's eventually going to come here and around the whole planet.
Elect. All right, this video is going to be entitled, "The Prophetic Walls Are Closing In." All right, and what I mean...
And that's all we talk. Check out all the men in GMS. What videos are we going? What topics are we going into? Mostly 99%, 95% prophetic, because these last days, end day prophecies are coming to pass. We're living in a time of revelation. We're living in a time of all these prophetic, these visions that the prophets saw.
I mean by that is the fulfillment of these major prophecies that we talked about for many years, right? We can see them right around the corner, and some are already coming to pass, which is what? World War III, which is Armageddon, nuclear war, right? The fall of this society, the implementation of the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, cashless society, Jacob's trouble, all out chaos and hell, riot, anarchy, mass death on the earth. And soon we'll see the Lord come back. Lord willing, we get delivered out of, the terrible judgment that's going to come upon this world. Now, in this video in the opening, I put together, a little short, two different videos spliced together. The first one was this guy right here who looks like an Edomite, but he might not be. But he's a, concerned American, talking about all the stuff, Venezuela, the stormtroopers, this and that. He started out real good, but then in the end, he came, talking about the tyranny shall not prevail and all that, the American people. Dude, you're through. Okay, Babylon the Great is finished. Yeah, these people, they're going to establish their NWO. You can't do nothing about it. That's written. Okay, they're going to get their, how's it called? Their enterprise. Their enterprise is going to be fulfilled. It's not going to last that long, but it is going to come to pass. So you might as well just, you got to do what you got to do, right? Now, after that, there was a video that featured you showed it, an AI video. The future was entitled "The Future with CBDCs," which is central bank digital currencies. I got it off of, TikTok. And it basically showed a scenario through the eyes of this woman here. And, basically she had, just showing you how the world gonna be. Now, the way the video really looked, and I actually, I shrunk it, I enlarged it to hide these other things right here, right? Here at the top it says RFID, micro C-HIP is the MOTB. At the bottom it's got Revelation 3 and 15, right? But what I did was I just enlarged the video so you can see the screen better, and I, basically cropped all of that out. Because you know how these algorithms are. Anyway, as we're talking about though, when you look at that video, it shows you how, the technology, the technocracy, the techno-totalitarianism, they're going to restrict access of everything. They're going to control everything, right? How it could, show you scenarios how it possibly could be. People in the streets begging for extra, what do they call them? Extra credits, I believe. The digital credit system, which, the MOTB is going to be part of that. You see, had cameras up everywhere. Everything was monitored. They knew everything about you, right? A traffic ticket. They knew, they come to your house and arrest you. You want to buy certain food, you can't buy it. They tell you, no, you got to eat mealworms instead. You ain't got you can't eat your monthly allowance for red meat is too far. Or you already surpassed your allotment for red meat, so you got to get mealworms instead. You get the same protein, but you got to do this instead. She went to the doctor. The doctor scanned her and said you got a deficiency. You need red meat, right? When she went to get the red meat, she couldn't get it. Then right in the middle of her doctor's visit, the doctor was told, your medical license has been revoked because of non-payment of this and that. He said, hell no, I got an extension. She goes to the supermarket and telling her you can't buy this. You see? Everything. And then after a while, she got mad and she kicked the car, and one of the neighbors was filming her doing it. And they said, due to the fact that that neighbor, reported her hateful behavior, he got additional credits See, so you can, and people are gathering in the streets. I think it has Citizens Against Digital Oppression or something like that. You can see drones in the sky, people meeting outside. It's just crazy. So it's exciting times. Prophetically, the walls are closing in. We told you people what the Lord was going to do. This society is going to implode upon itself. And the scriptures back up everything that we've been telling you. Which really, we read it out of the scriptures and we prophesied and filtered it through the scriptures. And things are going to get really bad in this society and in the world. This is 2 Esdras chapter 8, verse 50. We'll start at 49. I'm starting at 48. It says, "In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous." You know, we always say, Lord willing, we of the elect, right? We call ourselves the hopefully elect because we can't say we of the elect. Verse 50, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." And we looking forward to the great miseries falling on this place because of all the pride, right? Now, verse 55 says, "And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. For as their things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them."
Defiled the name of him. What comes to mind? Who defiled the name of the Lord? By not calling him by his true name.
Excuse me. "And were unthankful unto him, which prepared life for them, and therefore is my judgment now at hand." And we know that the judgment of the Lord is coming, but it's going to play out in many different ways. The Lord is going to put this world through complete hell before the kingdom of heaven is set up. "These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee." So everybody can't get this. And we often say that. We often say that this truth and the understanding that's in the scriptures, everybody can't get it. And that mark of the beast, it is coming, man. It's going to change the whole society. Something that big and major would have to be mentioned in the scriptures, would it not? This is a scripture that I wanted. Let's go to 2 Esdras. Let's actually do this. Damn it, famine. Let's bring up famine. So this is 2 Esdras 15 and 5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction." Right? We know that that's gonna happen. Just bear with me here. I should just went to chapter 15 altogether. Let's go to the whole chapter. 2 Esdras 15 and 1. "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my..."
Yeah, it's hard to go to 2 Esdras 15 without reading the first verse. Most of the scriptures are like that. Jeremiah 50, 51, 49. Well, 50 and 51, you got to go to first. Isaiah 13, Isaiah 14. A lot of them prophetic verses. To get the full understanding, you got to read the whole chapter. Got to understand the whole chapter. And the precepts that link up with it.
"People, the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." This is the main thing we talk about, prophecy, right? That's what's stirring the whole drink right now, prophecy, man. You see, this whole thing with the CBDCs, the digital...
Now, see, I saw this video, I don't know where I saw it, maybe on TikTok. I got a TikTok account. I'm not going to it on it too tough, but I think I seen it. Somebody put it up, one of the elders or the brothers or whatever. But the original, you saw the RFID micro C hip is the MOTB. So I guess one of the brothers did that, or could have been Esau or whatever, because you got a lot of so-called Edomites that know that the CBDC is one step closer to the mark of the beast. They know that the mark of the beast is the fulfillment of Revelation 13, 16, and 17. They know that everything is based upon the 666. They know that the universal, the UPC, when you go buy something and you scan it, every time I go to the store where they have a South scanner, I'm going right to the South scanner. And you got to find that code, that group of lines. That's based upon 666. And we here at GMS been telling you that. Remember, when it comes to pass, and everybody got to get that chip, the ones of you that use your brain, your head for something other than a hat rack, you're going to say, well, GMS was always right.
Currency, the MOTB, the fall of society, tyrannism, totalitarianism, the tyranny of the left hand, right? The elites of this society. Hey, all that's gonna come into play, and everything you see going on right now is leading up to that. It's involved. Trump is daily talking about Colombia, Cuba, right? Going to these other places, Greenland, Armageddon. There's a lot of saber rattling going on. These American citizens, shit is getting worse for them all the time. They're complaining about it. This dude said basically that, they're going to rise up. Well, you know what? That's in the scriptures. Just civil war. Just civil war among yourselves. That's also in the scriptures. And, we may get a chance to touch on that. Verse 3 says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. And incredulity is unbelief. And we do not care who don't believe what we telling you. You mean to tell me you're going to have the nerve, see it says right here, disbelief. The state of being unwilling or unable to believe something. The quality or state of being incredulous, disbelief. So the Lord said, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. The Lord said, anybody speaking against us, don't worry about it. All right? When you read in Revelation 20, what is that? Let's go there real quick. Revelation 22, is it? It might be 21, but just bear with me here. Let's see if I got it. No, it's Revelation 20, 21, 22 and 11. It says, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Why do the scriptures say this? And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. You see that? So whatever you doing, that's why the Lord got you set up doing that thing. We ain't gonna bend over backwards trying to get nobody to get the truth. I was watching the Dallas Brothers last night, Elder Yashawama, them sit down, right? And Elder Yashawama was saying, we feel like we said everything that we needed to say. And he was right. Sometimes that spirit do come over you where we still got to make our videos, but we be in our minds like we said everything that we can say. But we still going to go ahead on and keep on edifying and preaching and teaching till the Lord say that's enough. But we have, our apostles, starting with our apostles and elders, they have thoroughly saturated the earth with prophecy, right? We have watered the flock. We fed you. We built you up just like they did with us. They built us up. We built you up, and you built others up. And we continue all to build each other up. But really, we just repeating everything that we've been saying for all these many years, man. Right? Starting with our apostles and elders. Them upwards of 40 years. On down to some of us is like 15, 16, nearly 20 years. We've been saying the same stuff. But now you're seeing the fulfillment of it. And we ain't worried about it. We told you, American citizens, see, you so-called white people, you're a very peculiar and wickedness type of people. You have a tendency to not really complain about shit until you're the ones that's suffering. We've been fucking suffering, right? We know that this society gonna get worse before it get better. We understand that. This bitch got to fall before we can be free. So don't expect us to cry and bend over backwards and try to unite with you to prop up your fucked up system that don't work anyway. We don't give a damn. This your suffering. We don't give a fuck. We here. We be your captives, your slaves, and we gotta suffer in order for our world to come into power, or for our kingdom to come on the earth. We gotta suffer with you. So we willing to do that. And it's like we got a choice anyway. So, but don't come crying to us about your your tyrannical society, because you motherfuckers help them get power, right? They put you over us, and you in turn put hell on us, right? Don't come talk about it. Oh, it's the elites. It's the elite society. We gotta come together. Nah, fuck that. When the elites gave you rulership over us, you ruled over us with a fucking rod of iron. They put you little low-level Edomites over us, and what did you do? You ground us into the damn ground. Now your damn kingdom falling. Now you want to all come together. No, hell no. Yeah, we gonna come together, all right? You gonna come to our world, and your ass gonna work. We gonna work the shit out of you. But first, we gotta go through this suffering. So going on in 2nd Esdras 15:4 says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. We're preparing for the Lord to do all these things on a mass scale. And he tells you why. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. See, so the world you have created is a world of filth, wickedness, disorder in marriages. You got a society where the wrong thing is considered right, and the right thing is often considered wrong. You weak if you got integrity. People look at you as an asshole or some type of soft individual when you got any kind of, like I said, integrity. You got standards. They try to make it seem as though you spoiling their fun. So this fucked up world that you have made for yourselves, hey, let it implode upon itself and destroy you in the process. We don't give a damn. Verse 14 says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. And that sedition, when you go into it, that's uprises against the government. It says incitement, conduct of speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. And you hear that on the lips of these Edomites. You think you want to be in control so bad, you want things the way that they used to be so damn bad, you willing to die and kill and shed blood over it. And all you're going to do is fight your damn selves, just like you did with the North versus the South, or which was the Civil War, and other wars you fought. So go ahead. The left and the right, they done hyped y'all up. Good. Go ahead and fight. You want to go against the government? Do it. But we ain't got nothing to do with that. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Listen, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And they're going to pull the wool over on you people. They're going to make you think they're doing you a favor by implementing that mark. You see? And society is going to implode. And then on top of that, even though they're going to make your ass suffer, and you're going to be against, what the government is doing, they're still going to draft a bunch of you, make your ass go into World War III, or send off your kids to fight and die for this so-called country, and it's still not going to get better.
Yeah, that's Joel 2. I want to go to that. We know it by heart, but I want to go to the chat and see what it says. I'm going to ask, what is GM? Matter of fact, let me put it together. Let me go ahead and, what is it? Joel. What is that, 20? 20, if not 20, it's 19. Yeah, 20 and 2 verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things, great terrible things. So let me go. We all familiar with the scripture, know it by heart. So let's see what the chat says about this. And I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to say, what's GMS take? Okay, let me refresh this. You see what comes up. Then I'm gonna get ready to close. Within GMS, Great Millstone teaching Joel 2 verse 20 is read prophetically and geopolitically, not as an ancient historical event. The verse briefly, but I will remove far off from you the Northern Army. GMS interpretation core points. They went off already. Northern Army, modern Russia. Nope. GMS consistently teaches that the Northern Army refers to Russia. Yes, sometimes. Sometimes, in this case, it's talking about America. Often including the Allies, Gog and Magog. Russia is geographically relative. They got it wrong. Target is modern Israel equals America. So-called African Americans, Latinos, massive military involved. They went off on American soil. So they really went off. They really went off. Because America's not a barren desert. Stink should come up. Nuclear devastation. This phrase is key for GMS. Interpretation as dead bodies, nuclear fallout, the aftermath of nuclear. They went off. Linked to Isaiah 34. They went off big time. Big picture GMS takeaway. End-time prophecy about World War III involving Russia versus the Western powers. They went off. I keep saying they go off, culminating in nuclear destruction and divine judgment. Let me say, no, you are wrong. GMS teaches that the northern give me a second. Army is America. Let's see what they say. I'm correcting them now. You're right to correct that. Within GMS, specifically the Northern Army in Joel 2 is taught as America. Oh, wow. You can change them up. Oh, yeah, I didn't know this. It says you're right to correct that. Within GMS, specifically the Northern Army in Joel 2 verse 20 is taught as America, not Russia. Thank you for calling that out. So now if somebody checks it out, you got to correct them. I tell them that you went off. You broke it down wrong, the wrong way. Let me restate the accurate GMS position clearly and cleanly. GMS understood of Joel 2 verse 20, but I'll remove the Army, Northern Army, America, Esau, Edom. In GMS doctrine, America, modern day Edom, Esau. America is primarily military opposition of Israel. It is the end time enemy being judged. GMS argues north does not mean North Jerusalem, but north in relation to the battle theater, or north as a prophetic identifier, not strictly geographic. It is geographic, comparable to how Babylon is spoken of prophetically, not cartographically, which is maps. A cartographer makes maps, draws up maps. So the Northern Army is the U.S. military industrial system, NATO included, under Edomite rulership. So they correct it. Remove far off from you, total destruction of American power, military, into a land barren and desolate. His stink shall come up equals dead bodies plus nuclear aftermath. As you likely already know, GMS takes this very literally. Millions of dead bodies, rotten flesh, radiation, smoke, and fallout. They connect this with Isaiah 34:3, Ezekiel 39:11-15, Revelation 19:17 and 18. Because you have done great things, American arrogance, global military dominance, economic exploitation, pride, blasphemy, and oppression. In GMS language, America's great things are the reason for its total annihilation. Bottom line, a future prophecy about the destruction of America. America equal Edom, Babylon, fulfilled via nuclear war and divine judgment, followed by the deliverance of the elect. No Russia is as Northern Army here. That's other camps, not GMS. Thank you. Okay, let's come on back. Okay, we almost finished. Got a couple of seconds left.
And you gonna bitch and whine and moan and fight and kill and suffer and die, never having seen righteousness come on the earth, because it ain't gonna come until this world falls. And we got a front row seat for it. So prophetically, the walls are closing in, and we glad. We got a front row seat. And we just, get the popcorn ready. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Okay, so that's it. Anyway, that's teacher. Boy, she's getting old. Oh no, that's not. Can't be her. That's 14 years ago. Anyway, Shalom. On to the next.